Hey everybody, welcome to MarkyMarkGames. Today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2015, and it is Top 10 Tuesday. This week we're going to be discussing my top 10 things I'm looking forward to at E3 2015. First, a little disclaimer. To make this list, a game must be confirmed. Well, I'm not doing any rumors. That is not to say that if it's not going to be shown at E3, it can't be on this list. But confirmed games and technology only. So you will not be seeing anything like Half-Life 3 or Elder Scrolls 6 on my list, since as far as we know, they do not currently exist. Now, without further ado, number 10. Coming in at number 10 this year is No Man's Sky by Hello Games. No Man's Sky is an exploration survival space game coming to the PlayStation 4 later this year and to PC sometime after that. The thing about No Man's Sky that is special is the way the universe is created. The entire universe is created procedurally. That means the universe is being built using algorithms instead of being pre-rendered. Now, not even the developers know what all is out there in their gigantic universe. They even built drones to send out into their universe so that they can try and catch a glimpse of as much as they can before the game launches. How big is their universe, really? Well, there are 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73 billion, 709 million, 551,616 planets in No Man's Sky. And that number is nowhere near human understanding. Not one of these 18 quintillion planets was drawn by hand. Coming in at number 9 is Rise of the Tomb Raider. When Crystal Dynamics rebooted the Tomb Raider series in 2015, I was skeptical. We need new IPs, not rehashes. I was quickly silenced as I spent sleepless nights trying to guide poor Lara Croft off that godforsaken island. Compelling doesn't really describe it. The biggest downside to the game and to all games like it is replayability. It's not really a thing in games like this. Sure, you can up the difficulty and try to find all the collectibles, but once you've seen the story, no matter how good it was, you've seen the story. Rise of the Tomb Raider promises to be an improvement on that formula. They've improved the gameplay by introducing a crafting system that requires Lara to hunt and forage for materials, as well as a dynamic weather system that will affect the way humans and animals behave. Rise of the Tomb Raider is expected to release for Xbox 360 and Xbox One later this year. Remember when Deus Ex Human Revolution was going to revolutionize the modern RPG? Well, I was thrilled when it launched. The trailers and conventions had me hyped up to play my ghostly assassin version of Adam Jensen. Much to my dismay, the boss fights had been contracted out to other developers, who all but made a farce of the game by not honoring the vision that Square Enix had for the world. Plus, there was a glitch in the game that could happen randomly that would cause an enemy you incapacitated non-lethally to just die all of a sudden, and cost you one of the biggest achievements in the game. But that was then, and this is now. Developers have promised that the sequel, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, is fully ghostable, meaning that not even bosses can force you into an encounter, and that you can play the entire game never being spotted by an enemy. We still have yet to see any actual gameplay from Mankind Divided, but the trailer revealed some wicked awesome powers that I can't wait to try out. And the developers have confirmed that we will get to see some authentic gameplay at E3. There is no release date yet for Mankind Divided. While Final Fantasy XV will not be shown at E3, according to Square Enix themselves, they will be making a showing at Gamescom in August, so I put it here anyways. You got a problem with that? It has been almost a decade since I have been this excited for a Final Fantasy game. Although 12 and 13 had their merits, the last great Final Fantasy game, in my humble opinion, was Final Fantasy X-2. Let the debate begin. Final Fantasy games have always been large and gorgeous for their times, and this is no exception. The dev team seems obsessed with creating a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the fans of the series. The only detail that concerns me is how much they are having to alter the story and characters from when the game was known as Versus 13. This has caused the game to be delayed significantly, and I am worried about the continuity of the story, but thrilled nonetheless to finally have a new Final Fantasy world to explore. And this time without Hope's incessant belly aching. We get it, your mommy died. Boo-hoo-hoo. This is where I would play the Star Wars fanfare to get you really pumped if I wouldn't be thrown into copyright hell by Disney. I'm a little confused when the game will take place in the Star Wars timeline. The game makes references to battles that canonically take place after Return of the Jedi, yet Darth Vader is a playable hero for the Empire. Inconsistencies aside, picture Battlefield 4 in all its environmentally destructible vehicular slaughtering squad-based glory. Now, picture it as Star Wars. That's essentially what this game will be. Instead of your traditional tanks, you'll have Imperial Walkers. Instead of medkits, you'll have back-to-tanks. Instead of an M16, you'll have friggin' laser beams. And instead of attack choppers, you'll have TIE fighters and X-Wings. This game would undoubtedly be higher on the list if it wasn't for DICE's recent announcement that there will be no space battles or single-player campaign in the game. What? You're friggin' kidding me! Space battles in Battlefront and Battlefront 2 were a huge part of the game. And no campaign? While they do say there will be single-player offline mode, there will be no story or cinematics. So that sucks. This isn't Battlefield, this is Star Wars. It's largely story-driven. Anyways, Star Wars Battlefront still makes it up to number 6 on my list because, hey, it's still Star Wars, and you can play as epic heroes such as Darth Vader and Boba Fett. Battlefront is scheduled to launch on November 17th. Clear your weekend schedule now. When Kingdom Hearts 2 released for the PS2 in 2006, Boulevard of Broken Dreams won the Grammy for Album of the Year, Hannah Montana had just debuted, starring a 13-year-old Miley Cyrus, and the Xbox 360 was still sold out everywhere. Wow, we've been waiting for a true console successor for a very long time. True, we have been placated with release after release on mobile and handheld devices, as well as HD remixes, but it's about time we finish the fight with Xehanort. I am a little bit concerned about what we'll see this year, however. The past 2 years, we've seen what appear to be little more than teasers. If we don't see some authentic gameplay this year, as well as at least a ballpark date for a release, I'll be extremely worried that their rate of progress is going so slowly that the project will either fail, or all the fanbase will just lose interest. I am really excited by what they can do with the game now that Disney has acquired rights to use all the Pixar characters and worlds, not to mention Marvel and Star Wars universes. Lightsaber Keyblade versus Darth Vader? Yes, please! Mass Effect is my all-time favorite video game series. Even if you include the poorly implemented Mass Effect 3 with its terrible lack of content outside the main questline, sellout combat system, and worst ending of any game series of all time. Ugh! Don't make me remember it. What, you mean the, quote, good ending means giving up our humanity and becoming half machine? Oh, and the mass relays are all destroyed, effectively isolating every system from the others. Remember how war-torn Earth was? Well, now every fleet in the galaxy is stuck there. Earth gets its crops from its colonies that they could no longer reach. Every person of every species stuck in the solar system with little to no food? See, extrapolate that ending with just a little bit of thought, and you come to the conclusion that everybody dies. Oh, sorry. Back on track. I really do love the vast majority of the content in the Mass Effect universe. This would be at least number 2 on the list if it wasn't for the sour taste Mass Effect 3 left in my mouth. Stop it! Think about the future! The untitled Mass Effect game will not star Commander Shepard, but will be a decisively Mass Effect game. The developers have said that they will be bringing back more RPG elements like the first game. It will include multiplayer, and say what you like, I really enjoyed the multiplayer in Mass Effect 3. But I'd like to see what else they can come up with to bring competitive and cooperative multiplayer to the Mass Effect universe. Co-op campaign, maybe? I'm very excited to see what else Casey Hudson and his crew have in store for us. Almost to the top. Let's move on with Tom Clancy's The Division. This is another game that is seemingly stuck in a development loop. The game has been pushed back yet again and now isn't expected until next year. We definitely need to see something exciting at E3 other than its promised gameplay demo on the show floor. I feel like the general populace has forgotten that The Division is even a thing, and that's the last thing I want. When the game was announced, I was sold immediately. The completely open, persistent, social world, squad-based combat with RPG-like leveling system, unique skills and powers, loot crates in the world, and revolutionary companion gaming have me completely hooked and begging for this game. But the studio has been extremely quiet with updates and has pushed the release back at least twice already, and the media is all over its producer Ubisoft about promising the world in their games, then releasing something less, like what happened with the latest Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. When the Ubisoft conference is on, you can bet I'll be on the edge of my seat, begging for details of this game, just like I will be doing for the first ever Bethesda conference for this game. Fallout 4! Bethesda Studios hit it out of the park with their tease a day before dropping its first ever trailer for Fallout 4. They updated their website with the famous "Please Stand By" graphic with a 24-hour countdown clock. Anyways, we know very, very little about this game so far, but Bethesda has promised to remedy that this E3. All we really know is that it takes place in Boston, and Fenway Park and MIT will be locations, and the main character seems to have a German Shepherd companion. But let's be honest, it's a Fallout game. It's going to be great. And since the game looks near completion in its announcement trailer, maybe, just maybe, they're ready to announce the next Elder Scrolls game at the end of their conference. Okay, I know I specifically promised that Elder Scrolls 6 would not be on the list, but come on! After Skyrim's success, you're nuts if you're not checking Bethesda's updates daily to see what their plan is. And coming in at the #1 thing to look forward to for E3 2015 is virtual reality. That's right, 2015 is going to be the year of virtual reality, whether you like it or not. I really hope the conferences and show floor are flooded with Oculus Rift's HTC Vives, Project Morpheus' Morphei? And perhaps, if the rumors are true, an Xbox-exclusive VR device. With such a full lineup of potential blockbuster games, it'll be difficult to fit VR in, but every one of these amazing titles could be infinitely better with proper virtual reality. Steam VR on the HTC Vive is set to release with 1080p resolution at the end of 2015, with dual floor sensors to turn any room in your house into whatever virtual space you have the program for. Oculus Rift will also launch with 1080p running at 70 frames per second and is the clear frontrunner for PC gaming with tons of support from the community. It's set to launch sometime in early 2016. Project Morpheus is the only console-ready VR headset, but looks fantastic. It is announced that 21 games are ready to use with Morpheus, much further along than I had expected, but it doesn't have a release date yet. I'd expect that to change at the Sony conference. And remember this? It's the PlayStation Move. Don't feel bad if you don't remember, it hasn't gotten much use, but that stands to change when used alongside the Morpheus. Morpheus will run 1080p video as well at a shocking 120 frames per second, providing less ghosting and motion sickness than any other VR headset. Well, that about does it for this week's Top 10 video. Did I miss something obvious? Your favorite game, maybe? Make sure to tell me about it in the comments below. Did you enjoy the video? Show your support by liking the video and sharing it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for another Top 10 list next Top 10 Tuesday, as well as daily Let's Play updates. Check the video description for a full upload schedule. Don't forget to tune in to E3 on June 16th through 18th for all the awesome gaming news, trailers, and demos. I'll see you next week, guys. Don't forget, stay awesome. Peace out.